देखिए, एक बात तय है कि दिल्ली में कमल खिल रहा है, दिल्ली में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बन रही है। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी पूरे कॉन्फिडेंट है कि वो हार रहे हैं।
2025 में भी पहले के हिसाब से हमारी सीटें कम दिखाई जा रही हैं। मुझे लगता है कि आम आदमी पार्टी को एग्जिट पोल हमेशा कम आंकते रहे हैं। बड़े बहुमत से, मामूली बहुमत नहीं कह रहा, एक बड़े बहुमत से आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार बनने वाली है और ये तमाम एग्जिट पोल जो है गलत साबित हुए।
I'm just assuming that your numbers are correct. I don't want to argue. Either way, we'll come to know the reality on the 8th. But all I'm saying is that we've obviously, I believe that we've kind of made a strong comeback in many areas.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The nerve center of Bharat today, the capital of India, witnessed the culmination of a high decibel battle. While fear and fakery were weaponized, freebies turned into guided missiles. Targeting specific demographies and communities became the name of the game. But the question is, who's winning Dilli ka dil? Who's got the chemistry with the voters right? And whose arithmetics will pay off in these elections? We get you the most accurate projections after voting concluded in Delhi Dangal just at 6 p.m. today. As the rhetoric of Rajniti fires up, the political temperatures also keep going up. There's never a dull moment in politics. Kejriwal is riding high on freebies and rupees 25,000 bachat patra and hopes to wash away the taint of graft on him and many leaders of his party. The Congress emerging as Kejriwal's biggest nemesis, with Rahul Gandhi throwing stones at the Sheesh Mahal. The BJP with Modi as its Brahmastra hopes to breach Aam Aadmi Party's bastion and break the 27-year-old jinx. Before we get you the projections, let's tell you about how Delhi voted. Today till 8 p.m. the voting percentage stood at 57.89%, and that's where it has stood for the last couple of hours. And when checked with the Election Commission, they said all political party members actually involved in a lot of paperwork, so some updating will happen a little later in the day. But compare it with the last three elections, 65.63% in 2020, let's look at these numbers. If this was the voting percentage in 2015, this is 2013, 2015 and 2020. These were the numbers. Well, it is in 2025 at the moment, and this expected to be revised upwards. Will it breach this mark or this mark? Because the BJP was clearly hoping to have a larger voter turnout, which they felt would be in their favor, which means more numbers coming out shows it's a vote against anti-incumbency. So how much will this change? We'll wait and watch. In Sheila Dikshit's time, it was 53.42 and 57.6 in the last two elections before the 2013 elections. Those are the numbers. But let's look at the poll of polls numbers. The poll of poll numbers really is what swings the mood of the capital today. The BJP, look at the numbers. JVC's poll gives 39 to 45 range to the BJP. Metrise gives 35 to 40. People's Insight 40 to 44. People's Pulse 51 to 60. Chanakya gives 39 to 44. PMark 39 to 49. Poll Diary 42 to 50, DV Research 36 to 44, Mindbring 21 to 25, We Preside is 18 to 23. So just two polls which go to the other side give the advantage to the Aam Aadmi Party. All the other polls above it are giving the BJP the edge, the Aam Aadmi Party much below the halfway mark. Average numbers, the BJP in clear majority, 27 to 33 to the Aam Aadmi Party. Congress may just register one seat and others will be at zero. Read AIMIM, which actually played this vote alone in this elections. The BJP set to rule Delhi after 27 years. It's a question mark because everybody puts a question mark on exit polls. But after looking at these numbers, let's also look at Satta Bazaar. Because Satta Bazaar, people say they put their money where their mouth is, and the Delhi Satta Bazaar is keeping it close, giving the edge to the Aam Aadmi Party. BJP close behind 30 to 32, Congress at 0. Prediction is that the Aam Aadmi Party will make the government. But will this mean that Arvind Kejriwal wins or loses? Will that play a role? We don't know. Let's look at the Gujarat Satta Bazaar coming up on your screen. And if you look at, okay, follow the Satta Bazaar first. Aam Aadmi Party has the edge. BJP is trailing. Congress at 1 seat. This is the Falodi Satta Bazaar. Next coming up is Gujarat. And there it's even Stevens between BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. Well, if it gets to this number, then clearly many people will ask, Satta Bazaar hai kya bhai, dono ko same de raha, is it playing safe? Let's also look at the Mumbai Satta Bazaar. And the Mumbai Satta Bazaar gives edge to the Aam Aadmi Party because Aam Aadmi Party forming the government is 24 paise, whereas the BJP forming the government is higher, 39 paise. Congress forming the government is 2 rupees 30 paisa, which means clearly not something that many people think is even a possibility. Let's look at the VIP seats. And VIP seats, according to the Falodi Satta, well, Atishi will win her seat. She's the favorite, 25 paise to 33 paise for Ramesh Biduri. That's what Falodi Satta Bazaar says. Let's look at the New Delhi seat of Arvind Kejriwal. First, Jangpura, 50 to 70 paise, that is for Sisodia winning. He's favored to win. And Arvind Kejriwal seat also, if you look at it, is 65 paise to 85 paise. He's slated to win, but that is the Satta Bazaar that says this. Why are we looking at it? Well, since nobody believes exit polls anymore, we are trying to give you a bigger choice of what you want to believe. Satta Bazaar, some say even Stevens, even they have different opinions, and poll of polls definitely has a range. Two of those polls going on the Aam Aadmi Party side, 8 of them going on the other BJP side. Who's going to form these? We have pollsters, we've got guests on our panel, and let me introduce. JVC joins the panel this evening. He has one of those polls, and you are going to defend the numbers on the screen. Also joining me this evening, Anand Ranganathan. Anand Ranganathan, what do you think? Where are you putting your money?
देखिए सत्ता बाजार है और एक सट्टा बाजार है. Which one would you go for?
नहीं, आप सत्ता बाजार भी बता दीजिए, सट्टा बाजार भी बता. We can't bet. It's not officially allowed. So let's leave सट्टा out of it and सत्ता बता दीजिए किसकी है.
सत्ता बाजार में it's even more difficult to predict because 10 साल पहले 25% of the tickets that Aam Aadmi Party gave were to ex other parties. 10 years later, 75% of the tickets that Aam Aadmi Party has given are to ex-Congress, ex-BJP, ex-BSP. तो ये सत्ते में हमाम में जो केजरीवाल जी सब कहते थे सब मिले हुए हैं, ये खुद मिल गए हैं. तो सत्ता बाजार is more difficult to predict than सट्टा बाजार. But one thing is easy to predict.
What is that?
कुछ भी हो जाए, कम्युनिस्ट को नोटा से कम मिलेंगे.
विवेक श्रीवास्तव, is that a dig at you?
आप मतलब जी कहिए, एक दिन कम्युनिस्ट प्राइम मिनिस्टर होने जा रहा है बड़ी जल्दी.
कौन सी कंट्री में?
इसी मुल्क में होगा.
इंडिया में कि चाइना की बात कर रहे हैं?
इनको स्वेरिंग इन में लेके जाऊंगा, आप देखिएगा.
कम्युनिस्ट प्राइम मिनिस्टर इन इंडिया.
बिल्कुल बनेगा.
आपकी दुकानें बंद हो गई हैं. आप क्या कह रहे हैं?
ये देखिए, जब ये इतना ज्यादा कैपिटलिज्म बढ़ जाएगा तो लास्ट में कम्युनिज्म ही आएगा. लोग लाएंगे उसको.
लास्ट मीन्स प्रलय आने से. Well, Sabha Naqvi, numbers on the screen. You carry, in your hat experience of what, 3 decades of journalism.
Yeah.
Tell me, what do you think is happening on the ground?
I think there's too much of it on the ground. Every seat was different, and it appeared to be neck to neck. In such a situation, I know people are going to say if it goes one direction, there was a wave. In such a situation, we have to rely on the polling agency, which has interviewed the most diverse section of people across most seats. So we have a certain section of polls now, we'll get some more tomorrow, because it is a complex election. That's why people are getting so coming out with this neck to neck. The Gujarat Bazaar has said same result to AAP and BJP.
34 to 36.
34 to 34.
Nothing can be safer than
yeah,
that.
but there are a few things that stand poised till the real result. Is the future of the biggest, of the most successful political startup in India, the brand of Arvind Kejriwal, because beyond the performances, his seat has been a tough seat. That I can tell you, because I went there.
So is he winning or losing?
It's anyone's guess. That seat can go anywhere.
So you're saying Arvind Kejriwal has a tough
I
fight?
have said this to many people. That seat was looking very difficult to me, given the demographics, given the fact that it doesn't even have that many residents who belong to the section of society which is more loyal to him.
Okay.
Number two. Number three, which I learned while being here, because women voters were more inclined towards Aam Aadmi Party than men were, but the demographics that there are less women in Delhi than there are men. One of the most, I've just looked up the data and I'm shocked, and the reasons for it are apparently migrants tend to be male. Yes. Secondly, we have a very poor record with birth. Actually, Delhi, Haryana, Punjab, we are bad. We're bad, and migrants tend to be male. I didn't factor actually in my mind. That is something I've learned while being here today.
Well, important fact there, but let me introduce the rest of the panel. Nalin Kohli, national spokesperson of the BJP, joins us tonight, as does Sanjay Jha, author, Congress leader, on the show with us. Also joining us this evening is Reena Gupta, Secretary, Delhi State Aam Aadmi Party and national spokesperson of the party. But of course, let me introduce the two pollsters on the panel. Joining me tonight is Yashwant Deshmukh, former founder and chief editor of C Voter. Also joining me is Pradeep Gupta ji of My Axis. And I want to pick your mind. You're giving your numbers tomorrow, but Pradeep Gupta ji, trailer aaj de dijiye, because लोगों को तो नंबर जानने कौन जीत रहा है, किसकी सरकार बन रही है. एनालिसिस आप करते रहिएगा कल, लेकिन आज ट्रेलर में ये बता दीजिए, who has the edge? Is it Aam Aadmi Party, which 2 polls give the edge to Aam Aadmi Party, or the 8 polls that give the edge to the BJP? What do you make of these numbers? More importantly, what did you see on the ground? Please unmute yourself.
Okay. So 2-3 things I would like to put forward. One is that we have decided to come out with our numbers, Access My India number, tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. onwards. That's one. And reason being is very simple. In Delhi, all the demography at play, be it caste, different castes are voting differently, be it gender, which is voting differently, be it occupation, ready wala, patri wala, auto wala, employees, government employees, private job employees, they are voting differently. And that too, Samudaya, what we call them, Purvanchalis, how they are voting, Uttarakhandis, South Indians, Bengalis, Punjabis most importantly, and Delhi Vasi themselves. 51% about is the Delhi Vasi, they call themselves, they belong to Delhi since ages, and rest 49% comes from different states, and bulk of them from Purvanchal, which is about 25%. All these demography, and top of all these things is the voter turnout. Even Election Commission has not yet declared the final number, being in Delhi. The last reported, as you just now mentioned, about 57.7% at 5 o'clock. Generally, looking at the trend every hour, it is average, I am talking about 6%, 5 to 6%, depend on morning, afternoon and evening. So even if we calculate 58 plus 6, which is going to be about 64, which is more than last time 2020 and less than 2015 election. And we all know these days, these voter turnout, generally it is different than 15 years back. It largely helps to the BJP. It is seen because the alignment of BJP, particularly with the OBC and the upper caste, which generally vote in comparison with Dalit minorities and poor class in much less numbers. So whatever incremental voter turnout is, the more number of voters includes from belonging to the BJP voter. So these are the fact and the things for which we thought we will spend one more day in the ground itself and try and do the number crunching and come out with the numbers that Axis My India is known for. Though you mentioned exit poll are not being trusted as it used to be trusted before, that's right. But as far as Axis My India goes, in last 12 years, we have predicted 69 election and accurately called right 63 election, including recently concluded US election, Maharashtra and Jharkhand, and we have been wrong in 6 occasions. So this is my track record. So I would say and humbly rather request everybody, your viewers, yourself, your panelists, let's wait for one more day and we will give
No,
you
but tell me 3
of
basic questions, Pradeep ji. Number 1, women lesser in Delhi than men. Men, some of the polls are showing voted more for the BJP than they did for the Aam Aadmi Party. Does that give the edge to the BJP? The women have voted higher in higher percentage to the Aam Aadmi Party. Men have voted more, and since the percentage of male voters is higher, does that give? Is it right to say that the edge is to the BJP? Number 1 question.
Okay, so can I reply number 1 question? Or
Yes,
you want
sir.
To put okay, so as far as the age to Aam Aadmi Party among female by other pollster, not Pradeep Gupta or Axis My India, if the age is 1 to 2%, then it will not make the difference or impact in the outcome of the election as far as who is winning or losing. If the age is more than 5 percentage points among the female and male is voting differently, then it will turn in favor of whoever having the more edge among whichever demography, whether male or female. So that age needs to be seen and looked at very carefully. That is very important. As again I am telling you, because who has voted and what is the female or turnout, that is to be seen, which is not yet declared. Even at 5 o'clock, how many female have voted, how many male have voted.
Okay, all right. I'm coming to you, Sabha, but one more question. I also want to ask you, you've got the last 3 elections in Delhi, right? On that, your record is 100%. I want to ask you, is it okay to take an average of all the polls to at least look at the direction of the polls? Number 1, forget the numbers, at least the direction of the polls. How do you see the direction? Given 8 of them go on the favor of BJP, 2 of them in favor of AAP.
Considering the size of assembly, which is only 70, which is very, very less in that sense, I would say this particular taking out the average of poll is not right way to look at it, because different polling agencies are showing different results. Had there been all in one direction, then you can say, yes, this directionally they are all in one direction. So average of it will be a seat share for each of the party. But because 4 is saying something different directionally, they are predicting AAP victory, and about 8 is predicting BJP victory. So I would say the average will not get you closer to the final result.
Is it as close as the Satta Bazaar is saying, 34-36, which is...
Okay, so again I am making one point, at least that much clarity I can give. Generally in 15 years, about 93 elections, Assembly and Lok Sabha 3 elections, people have given only 5 occasions the hung assembly, or that much close, whether 50-50 in both the major party. Otherwise, all the time people have given decisive mandate, and at least I can see even in that in Delhi, that people will give the decisive mandate whoever it is giving to.
बस एक ही तो सवाल फिर बचा है. Only one question. ये बता दीजिए who's winning.
उसके लिए मेरा वापस रिक्वेस्ट है, कल मैं आपको सारी डेमोग्राफी, इवन दलित नहीं, एससी नहीं, हाउ वाल्मीकिज आर वोटिंग, हाउ Jatovs are voting, how other SC class are voting.
Okay.
All the demography, Purvanchali, Uttarakhandi, vagera, male, female, how they are voting, and to the large extent, I will give you the VIP seats also, the prediction.
Okay, all
But
right.
for that, I need one more day. I
All
have
right,
no-
Yashwant Deshmukh, this time you are also doing Pradeep Gupta. You are also giving your numbers tomorrow. भाई ऐसा क्यों हम पर सितम कर रहे हो? Please suspense खत्म कीजिए यशवंत जी. Please tell us who's winning. Details कल दे दीजिएगा.
No, I am not even doing a Pradeep Gupta. I am not even gonna give tomorrow. What I have decided and I have told you well, way in advance for the last many years. This seat projection thing is nothing but an extrapolation of where the science of survey stops. So any survey, any poll, any exit poll which is giving you seat share and not providing you vote share, you should just put it in the trash can. I wish our friend from JVC, whom you have commissioned the poll, he is given more time to present his data and we could all learn from what he has found from the field. Any genuine pollster who has gone to the field should be providing not just the vote share, but all the demographic details, as Pradeep just rightly mentioned. And we have been saying this for years, for 28 years now, that just shift your focus from this circus of seat share and onto the real thing of what
why are we doing it?
issue.
Well, but Yashwant Deshmukh, पहले तो आप दे देते. We've done several polls with you also.
I was part of that circus every time reluctantly, and I made it a point before giving a seat share, and this time I have refused, finally. You know, I mean, it takes a lot of guts
But we watch
to say that.
Yashwant, we watch all this because of the anxiety.
Yeah, you know, let's
No,
not.
I tell you why, you know, why it is like that, why it is like that, because of simple reasons, It's not just the demographics, who has voted what. We will come with the demographics tomorrow. Question is, with the relative turnout in the play, how exactly are you gonna gauge? Have you figured out what kind of percentage of what kind of turnout is differences between male and female voter? Sabha just mentioned that Delhi has lesser number of female. Sabha, news for you that even that would not matter for a simple reason that the male voters of Delhi, which are seasonal migrant workers, whose wives and other female members of the family are not here in Delhi, they all belong to the low income group. They all belong to the daily wages group. So even that male advantage, quote unquote, may or may not work for the BJP in the same way that they might like it to hear. What the BJP has certainly done in a most spectacular way, and which we could not, by the way, show on the screen because the ECI embargo was there after the budget was in last 3 days. Huge, remarkable turnaround of the middle class voters in favor of the BJP after the budget. That was a huge thing. This is why you are likely to witness tomorrow in my data or Pradeep's data maybe, a huge gap, huge class divide, huge extraordinary gender divide, and that is going to play everything out.
Correct.
All right. Class divide, gender divide in voting. But joining me today is Ramesh Bhiduri, the man who's the candidate from Kalkaji, challenging Atishi, the Chief Minister of Delhi. Ramesh Bhiduri ji, वोटिंग हो गई है, पोल्स आ गए हैं, रुझान अपने दे चुके हैं. 8 पोल्स कह रहे हैं कि बीजेपी की सरकार बन सकती है, 4 पोल्स कह रहे हैं आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार बन सकती है. आप हमें ये बताइए कि कालका जी की सीट पर क्या होने वाला है.
देखो, कालका जी की सीट को भारतीय जनता पार्टी जीतेगी, 101%, 100% जीतेगी. उसके कई कारण हैं. कारण है आतिशी जी यहां पर ईस्ट दिल्ली से लोकसभा का चुनाव हार कर आई थी, पहली बार लड़ने के लिए आई थी और उनको लोगों ने समर्थन देकर जिताया था. 4.5 साल वो यहां से गायब रही, कभी लौट के नहीं आई. कोरोना में भी गायब रही. 6 महीने से जब चुनाव आ गए तो उनको कालका जी की याद आई. उन्होंने एक भी कोई माइलस्टोन जैसा काम, एक भी कोई कम्युनिटी सेंटर बनाया हो, कोई सीनियर सिटीजन होम बनाया हो, कोई हेल्थ सेंटर बनाया हो, कोई स्पोर्ट्स कॉम्प्लेक्स बनाया हो, कोई गरीब शादी ब्याह बच्चे के लोग को पार्किंग, मल्टीलेवल पार्किंग को ऐसी व्यवस्था करी हो. आप मिनिस्टर सरकार में हैं, पानी वहाँ फिल्टर वाटर मिलता नहीं है। कालकाजी एरिया में 2-2, 3-3 फीट लोगों के घरों में पानी भर जाता है बरसात के मौसम में। तो वहाँ पर उनकी इतनी एंटी इनकम्बेंसी थी, क्योंकि इनको ये लगा कि बार बार केजरीवाल के नाम से लोग जीतेंगे। तो केजरीवाल जी भी एक्सपोज हो गए पूरी देश में। तो केजरीवाल सुबह कुछ बोलते हैं, शाम को कुछ बोलते हैं। और हरियाणा ने जहर मिलाकर दे दिया, ये सोने पर सुहागा हो गया। शराब दोबारा पॉलिसी लेकर आएंगे, ये सोने पर सुहागा हो गया। तो ये कई चीजें ऐसी थी कि आप नैरेटिव बनाने में लगे रहे। आपकी 10 साल सरकार रही आम आदमी पार्टी की, आपका विजन क्या है, कालकाजी के लिए क्या किया है?
चलिए, वो तो कैंपेन की बात हुई भिदोड़ी जी, वो तो कैंपेन आज खत्म हो गया, वोट पड़ गए, शायद सबका जो फाइनल रिजल्ट है वो अब कैद है ईवीएम में। लेकिन मैं आपसे पूछना चाहती हूं कि अगर आज आपको कोई पूछे कि आप कितने श्योर हैं कि आप ये सीट जीतेंगे, ना सिर्फ कालका जी की, बीजेपी ने टारगेट रखा था 3 सीटों का, अरविंद केजरीवाल की सीट, आतिशी जी की सीट और मनीष सिसोदिया की सीट। इन तीनों सीटों पर आपका क्या कहना है? क्या आप आम आदमी पार्टी को हरा पाएंगे? इतना कॉन्फिडेंस से आप आज कह सकते हैं?
बिल्कुल कॉन्फिडेंस से। दिल्ली हराएगी, हम नहीं हरा पाएंगे, दिल्ली की जनता हराएगी। मोदी जी की लोगों के प्रति विश्वास, लाइकिंग कि जैसे देश में विकास हुआ है, दिल्ली भी अब ऐसा विकास चाहती है। लोगों के मन में आ गया कि अब केजरीवाल को हटाना है। केजरीवाल ने सेकेंड टाइम ये कहा कि मुझे एक मौका दे दो, मुझे मोदी जी ने काम नहीं करने दिया, मैं यमुना को साफ कर दूंगा, 25 में तो लौट के आऊंगा। तो देखो, लोग इतने मूर्ख तो है नहीं। आपने 10 साल में, फिर 5 साल, अब 5 साल बाद आप रहोगे, तो लोग इतना भी जानते हैं मोदी जी तो फिर 5 साल के लिए प्रधानमंत्री जी हैं। तो फिर आप फिर यही कहोगे कि मोदी जी पहले तो टेन्योर में कह दिया। तो ये कई चीजें ऐसी जुड़ गई कि केजरीवाल जी की क्रेडिबिलिटी खत्म हो गई। और इसके कारण से कुछ सीटों में ऐसा है कि उसकी डेमोग्राफी उस हिसाब की शीला जी के टाइम में कांग्रेस में डिलिमिटेशन में बना दी कि बीजेपी का जो इंटेलेक्चुअल वोटर है, मीडियम क्लास, लोअर मिडिल क्लास वोटर, या जो देश के बारे में सोचने वाला वोटर है, इस प्रकार के वोटर को डिवाइड कर करके सीटों को खराब कर रखा है। और ऐसी दिल्ली में 15 से 17 सीटें हैं जो बीजेपी के लिए जीतना बड़ा मुश्किल है। बीजेपी के लिए, क्योंकि वो आइडियोलॉजी को नहीं देखते, वो देश की प्रगति को नहीं देखते। एक विशेष समुदाय के लोग हैं, 8 सीटों को वो इफेक्ट करते ही करते हैं, कितना भी कोशिश कर लो तो बीजेपी माइनस हो जाती है। 8 सीटें ऐसी हैं जिनमें वो डिसाइडिंग फैक्टर हो जाते हैं, 25-30% वोट के हिसाब से डिसाइडिंग फैक्टर हो जाते हैं। तो इसीलिए वहां पर भी अगर जाति कौन बदल गई, जाति का कारण बदल गया, तो इस कारण से वो चली जाती। तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी को आज की डेट में 50 सीटों पर लड़ना है, 37 सीटें जीतने के लिए। आम आदमी पार्टी के पास श्योर, आम हो या कांग्रेस हो, आम आदमी खत्म हो जाएगी तो कल वो वोट कांग्रेस पे जाएगा, बीजेपी पे कभी नहीं आएगा वो वोट। तो इसीलिए ये मानसिकता बनाकर 1-2% वोट हमें मिलता है जो हमारी आइडियोलॉजी को लाइक करता है, या प्रधानमंत्री जी के कारण मिल जाता है वोट 1-2% हमें, इससे ज्यादा वो नहीं मिलता है। आने वाले टाइम में जब डेमोग्राफी दिल्ली की बदलेगी तो 100% दिल्ली का भी नक्शा बदलेगा। और ये जो एक जानबूझकर ऐसा डिलिमिटेशन किया गया था कि 36-38 सीटें डेफिनेट कोई भी लड़े, भाजपा ना जीत पाए, इसीलिए भाजपा हार रही है। भाजपा कार्डर बेस पार्टी है, नीचे
चलिए
तो भाजपा का
8 तारीख को जब फाइनल नतीजे आएंगे तो पता चलेगा कौन कितने पानी में है। लेकिन रमेश भिदुरी जी, हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। ओपनिंग अप दिस डिबेट, रीना गुप्ता, माय फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन टू यू, polls, if you see the majority, if you look at them, most of them favor a BJP victory, the edge to the BJP. How do you see these projections, and does that make the Aam Aadmi Party nervous?
Navika ji, if you have seen exit polls in the last decade that Aam Aadmi Party has contested elections in Delhi, हमें हमेशा अंडर एस्टिमेट किया है, हर एग्जिट पोल में, हर सर्वे में। हम सर्वे में नहीं आते हैं, हम सीधे सरकार में आते हैं। इस बार भी प्रचंड बहुमत से दिल्ली में अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की सरकार बनने वाली है। फॉर द 4th टाइम ही विल बिकम द चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ दिल्ली। आई हैव बीन ऑन द ग्राउंड द होल डे टुडे, द रिस्पॉन्स वाज फिनोमिनल। ऑल द पीपल, वेदर यू नो सम एनालिस्ट आर सेइंग कि इस क्लास ने वोट दिया, उस क्लास ने नहीं दिया, इस जेंडर ने दिया आम आदमी पार्टी को, उस जेंडर ने नहीं दिया। हर क्लास ने, हर जेंडर ने आम आदमी पार्टी को वोट दिया है। Because there's a saying, why change something that is not broken? Aam Aadmi Party has delivered in the last 10 years. People of Delhi are very happy. We fought a fantastic election, positive campaign. We forced Bharatiya Janata Party to come on our pitch. हमने कहा कि हम दिल्ली के लोगों के लिए ये योजनाएं लेके आ रहे हैं, दिल्ली की महिलाओं के लिए ये करेंगे, दिल्ली के बुजुर्गों के लिए ये करेंगे. बीजेपी was forced to come and play on our pitch. उसके बाद भले ही इन्होंने जितनी चाहे गाली गलौज करी, गुंडागर्दी करने की कोशिश करी, पैसे बांटने की कोशिश करी, हमारे लोगों को डराया, धमकाया, वोटिंग स्लो करने की कोशिश की. उस सब के बावजूद I am 100% sure हमारी सरकार बन रही है. एंड यू नो एग्जिट पोल्स का तो क्या ही कहना, अभी हमने देखा लोकसभा के टाइम में एग्जिट पोल्स क्या बोल रहे थे, हमने देखा हरियाणा में क्या बोला, महाराष्ट्र में क्या बोला. तो इस बार भी एग्जिट पोल्स जो बोल रहे हैं उसको वी हैव टू टेक इट विद अ लॉट ऑफ सॉल्ट, नॉट विद अ पिंच ऑफ सॉल्ट, लॉट ऑफ सॉल्ट. Aam Aadmi Party is forming the government in Delhi and Arvind Kejriwal ji will become the chief minister for the 4th time in Delhi. Navika ji.
Well, Nalin Kohli, Reena Gupta is extremely sure she is not nervous at all. Does that make you nervous that these numbers may not hold till the 8th? How do you look at the projections that have come up from so many agencies? The one thing that is certain is the numbers of the Aam Aadmi Party are coming down. The Satta Bazaar sitting on the fence, but pollsters, at least 8 of them, give the edge to the BJP. 2 of them sticking their neck out for the Aam Aadmi Party.
Let's take a conservative approach for a moment, Navika ji, and begin with what you said at the end, which is essentially that the Aam Aadmi Party numbers are coming down. On 8th, the only issue left will be by how much. But consistently, everybody is saying their numbers will come down, and why should they not come down? This has been 10 years of bluster. It's a model in which the word performance does not exist. It's just about bluster, promises and blame. Blame Prime Minister Modi, blame the RSS, blame the BJP, blame the Punjab government for pollution in Delhi. When your government comes, there's no one left to blame. So then shift the focus to Haryana or anywhere else. Talk about, and these are tall and very, very big promises. And I think the Aam Aadmi Party and Mr. Arvind Kejriwal personally will have much to answer, possibly for the rest of his life, which is what happened to the model of India against corruption. I will not stay in a government house. That I will do a different brand of politics where I would pick up every candidate through a selection committee to ensure no criminal comes. We will not be like other parties. Mr. Ranganathan just in the program pointed out that 75% of their candidates are borrowed from other parties or have left other parties and joined them. I will not live in a house, in your channel I think broke the story of the Sheesh Mahal. That you know how much it has changed. We will not have corruption, and Mr. Kejriwal, Mr. Sisodia, Mr. Satendra Jain, they all had to be in jail and were denied bail for a fairly long period of time. Because somewhere the courts felt that there is something wrong in the decision they took in the excise policy, which in another way is the liquor scam. So look at the priorities. You call yourself the Aam Aadmi Party, you say India against corruption, and finally, as an accused, you have to spend jail time for a liquor scam. So I think this is clear. And your last sentence is what I picked it up from. The numbers are coming down. By how much we will know. And where the BJP stands, we believe that this is the first election where the Aam Aadmi Party is facing an existential crisis. A crisis of leadership, a crisis of credibility, a crisis of now a depleted goodwill among the voters. And the voters have reason to be upset. In 10 years, far from making Delhi a better city, it is worse off. It is worse off in the air that we breathe.
Well,
it is worse off in the water that we drink. It is worse off in the infrastructure. Again, blame everybody. Only 3 subjects are missing from their list of governance: land, police, and one more: partly services. What about the rest? Who stopped them from governing with the kind of mandate that they came from? But for that, they needed intent. They've never had any intent. So I think on the 8th, the people of Delhi will be sending a rude and a clear, unambiguous message to Mr. Kejriwal and all his colleagues.
Well,
there will be some of them who are definitely going to lose. Their numbers are not going to be there. We believe we are winning. But if I pick up even the most conservative thing, they are certainly going to see a big change from where they are in terms of the numbers and where they will be on the 8th.
well, let me get in Sanjay Jha. Sanjay Jha, then it all boils down to 2 or 3 questions. There are 3 seats that the BJP has targeted from the beginning. Arvind Kejriwal's seat, Manish Sisodia's seat and Atishi Ji's seat. I want to ask you, let's say, scenario number 1, if the BJP has an edge, form the government, well, lock, stock and barrel, they'll form the government. If the Aam Aadmi Party has the edge, yet any 1, 2 or 3 of these leaders where they were targeted, Arvind Kejriwal, Atishi and Manish Sisodia, if any one of them were to lose, especially if Arvind Kejriwal were to lose, what do you see happening in Delhi? Because the Aam Aadmi Party is faced with a challenge. The numbers everybody is showing are coming down. Even the best poll that gives on the higher side 52 seats to the Aam Aadmi Party shows 10 below what they are today, 62 seats. I want to ask you what happens then, Sanjay Jha.
Navika, in my opinion, an election is between parties based on an ideology, a manifesto, a program for the people of the state or the country, as the case might be. I would not like to believe that, well, there are heavy-duty politicians in the fray, but I wouldn't like to attach too much importance to one or the other politician. To give you an example, Mr. Modi had a very tough time retaining his seat in Varanasi with a very reduced margin. And Mr. Vajpayee lost an election, Rahul Gandhi lost an election, but they remained formidable leaders of their party. But to cut to the chase, I think if you look at the exit polls as they are, and I'm not going to denounce any of them, one thing appears very clear, that at the moment it will be rather foolhardy to create an average and to assume that the direction favors the BJP. Because as both Yashwant and Pradeep rightly pointed out, one of these polls could be right. Maybe Pradeep is right tomorrow and he's got an excellent hit rate. And as you look at the vote percentages, I think focus on that. If you look at the vote percentages, AAP and BJP seem to be overlapping each other. Now the question is, are those votes coming from a few big wins or are they scattered more evenly across the 70 seats that they're contesting? The other part which is very critical, and it's a party I support, but the Congress doesn't seem to be improvising its performance at all. If the Congress has made only an incremental shift, then I believe that is good news for the Aam Aadmi Party, because even if the Aam Aadmi Party were to come down, let me tell you what can be very misleading in this exit poll. The Aam Aadmi Party is sitting at a 53% vote share. So if you were to find a depletion of that vote share to even, let's say, by 5%, it will look on a sample as a much bigger number than the 5%, because 5% is still significant. And therefore, you can extrapolate that to say that the Aam Aadmi Party is headed for a significant fall. That may not be the case, which is why I think Yashwant is absolutely justified in saying that to convert the vote share to seats is a rather treacherous task. And my last point here is going to be that end of day, when this election is going to be called, will be primarily dependent upon, do the people of Delhi feel that Arvind Kejriwal was so incompetent, corrupt, or basically not trustworthy that he had to be removed. The BJP has always had a 32%, 34% vote share, but it's never formed a government in the state for a reason. That it's never been seen by the people of Delhi to represent its overall interest. So I think we'll have to wait and see.
Well, they haven't made a government for 27 years, but they've had Madan Lal Khurana, they had Sahab Singh Verma in the past.
Point. You see, how do you defeat Modi? You defeat Modi with a genuine alliance. Now let's take the example of Uttar Pradesh 2019. Everyone was predicting more than 70 seats for the BJP. They ended up with half because there was a genuine alliance between Samajwadi Party and the Congress. Now in Delhi, if you were to add the 8 or 9% vote share of the Congress to AAP, it's a completely different ball game. So the question you must be asking, you should be asking.
Because if you add that 8% they're getting because they're contesting in 70 seats. in an alliance, they would not be contesting in 70 seats. They would be contesting
Aam
in
Aadmi
2
Party
seats.
would have given them 3 or 4 seats.
That's all. That's all.
Yes.
So that's not
But
going to materialize.
if they are contesting against AAP in 70 seats, they are taking up that 8% vote share.
Yes. No, Anand, because what is happening is...
Okay.
The point is, the fewer seats you are fighting against as adversaries, the better chance you have. Just making a generalized comment. I'm not saying that it is absolutely certain, but you have the UP example in front of you.
Yes, you're quite correct.
So,
No, it doesn't work like that because, arithmetic and chemistry both come into play. At the moment, the premise is that if the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party have fought separately, the Congress would have eaten into the vote base of the Aam Aadmi Party. But given that, let me ask you, JVC, you've given 39 to 45 seats to the BJP, 22 to 31 to the Aam Aadmi Party. What is the basic premise why you are saying that the Aam Aadmi Party is going to literally half from its strength of 62?
So, see, I think last month we did a JVC poll where we analyzed the women votes and men votes and all that stuff. So what is happening is significantly this election is not an entire Delhi election. It is an election fought extremely locally. You go to some of the constituencies, there is huge anger against the sitting MLA, and also the corporator is from Aam Aadmi Party because they are running the MCD, as a result of which 10 years is a long time. And significantly, a lot of people might say Delhi doesn't vote based on the caste. But the fact of the matter is, the Baniyas trusted AAP in 2015. And up to an extent trusted in 2020. Now you go to any of the big markets, Sarojini market or any of the markets, you will find that the Baniyas are absolutely annoyed with AAP because of inflated power bills. They are saying that in the name of giving free electricity to the Juggi Chopris, my bill is 6,000, 8,000. And then when you go to JJ clusters, there, if the rains come, it's absolutely unlivable. And toilets are a major problem. On top of it, Jat votes. I think Arvind Kejriwal spoke on two things, which turned this election also in these two communities. He said Ramesh Biduri could be the CM candidate. Gujar. He lost Gujar. He one day said Parvesh Singh Verma could be the CM. Do you want Parvesh Singh Verma to be the CM? Jats completely united. This is not some, I don't know who advised him to make those statements. And a lot of blunders like this, Yamuna River. Because he himself has gone on record in 2020 after winning that if I do not clean the Yamuna River in the next 5 years, I will not come and ask you for vote or don't vote for me.
Said it on my show.
So all these are not small things.
Reena Gupta, some unfulfilled promises still remain despite the many promises that have been made, and those are the questions that probably people of Delhi are asking, which is why numbers are seen to be reducing, anti-incumbency is showing, and the question about 75% of your candidates are actually candidates from other political parties. So what happened to the new clean politics that Arvind Kejriwal had promised to bring to Delhi through this new political startup experiment called the Aam Aadmi Party? Do you think this is the judgment on which Delhi is voting?
Navika ji, it's really ironical that the Bharatiya Janata Party is talking about tainted candidates. If there are tainted candidates in any party, it's the Bharatiya Janata Party. Because Modi ji ने कहा कि अगर कहीं भ्रष्टाचार करना है तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी में रह के भ्रष्टाचार करो. The list of Modi ji washing powder and washing machine is long, is very long. आपका शो कम पड़ जाएगा अगर वो सारे नाम मैं पढ़ने शुरू कर दूं. एक बहुत फेमस मोदी जी ने कहा था मोस्ट करप्ट पार्टी चक्की पीसिंग और उसके 48 आवर्स में उन्होंने उसको अपनी पार्टी में ज्वाइन करा के महाराष्ट्र का डिप्टी सीएम बना दिया. तो इस तरह की बातें तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी ना ही करे, वो ही बेहतर है. अब मुझे इस बात का गर्व है दैट व्हेन वी हैव नॉट मैनेज्ड टू फुलफिल अ प्रॉमिस, वी आर ऑनेस्ट. नेम वन पॉलिटिशियन इन द कंट्री दैट हैज द करेज टू से कि मैंने ये 3 बातें कही थी और मैं नहीं पूरी कर पाया. वन पॉलिटिशियन who does not do जुमलाबाजी. मोदी जी ने कहा था 10 साल पहले मां गंगा ने मुझे बुलाया है. 40,000 करोड़ खर्चा हो गया, उसके बाद मां गंगा तो मैली की मैली रह गई। तो ये सारी बातें भारतीय जनता पार्टी जब करती है तो बहुत हंसी आती है। और दिल्ली के वोटर्स ने यही देखा, उन्होंने देखा कि एक तरफ एक ईमानदार मुख्यमंत्री है जिसने कहा कि मैंने ये 10 प्रॉमिसेस अपने पूरे किए, ये 3 चीजें मैं नहीं कर पाया, और मैं इस वजह से नहीं कर पाया कि पहले 3 साल कोविड रहा, उसके 2 साल मेरे को षड्यंत्र के चलते जेल के अंदर डाला गया। तो पीपल लव दैट ऑनेस्टी अबाउट आम आदमी पार्टी एंड अरविंद केजरीवाल। और
नलिन कोहली, अगर अरविंद केजरीवाल अपने प्रोमिसेस फुलफिल नहीं कर पाए तो वो भी आप ही की गलती है। रीना गुप्ता चार्ज एट यू, प्लीज रिस्पॉन्ड।
No, I think she's made an even more important point. This is unique in Indian politics, perhaps in global politics. Here's a man who turns non-performance into a virtue. I mean, I have never heard of this. And you actually are feeling proud about it. कि मैंने किसी वजह से ये 3 चीजें नहीं की। अरे आपने किया क्या? दिल्ली की वासियों से पूछिए ना, पानी से ही स्टार्ट कर लो, हवा से स्टार्ट कर लो। I mean, I have heard Mr. Kejriwal literally shriek out at the top of his voice. ये पंजाब सरकार क्या कर रही है? पराली क्यों नहीं बंद कर रही वो? Who's the chief minister of Punjab? Which party is he from now? The Aam Aadmi Party. In this season, we've had actually pollution, AQI go up to almost like 1700. I mean, forget about that as breathable air. That is like a gas chamber to kill. And you're saying that Delhi's health has improved under us. If this is the standard of improvement of health, God save us. Literally save us. Now I will clean up the Yamuna. And he's saying Yamuna का पानी पी के दिखा दो। अरे भाई तुमने कहा मैं साफ कर दूंगा और आप दूसरों को कह रहे हो पीने के लिए। He should be the first man to say मैं यमुना का पानी पी के आपको दिखाता हूं। 5 साल में मैंने साफ कर दिया। Then where does he take it? जहर मिलाया जा रहा है। I mean, it talks of a genocide. That's why I said the Aam Aadmi Party and Mr. Kejriwal is perhaps a person who can say anything. I have seen TV interviews, perhaps Navika, your channel also, that you play his own videos and you will see 2 polar opposite people. I mean, it's amazing. A man can say something today, say something absolutely opposite to it tomorrow, and not even be bothered about it.
Well,
that's why Mr. Kejriwal is a unique political person.
Well, absolutely. Everybody is a unique political person in the fray. But Sabha Naqvi and Anand Ranganathan, 2 questions.
Is only a bluster.
2 questions that I want to ask. And also to Vivek. I'll come to you. But Sabha, if Aam Aadmi Party, and I'm saying if Aam Aadmi Party were to lose,
yes,
what does it mean for the Aam Aadmi Party? If the BJP were to lose once again after 27 years of losses, what does it mean for them?
Navika, it is not so damaging for. In fact, BJP is actually half running the government. Since the services bill, they have so much control. So, but it's an ego battle. It's a little bit of a prestige issue because Arvind Kejriwal was a meteoric rise. It paralleled Narendra Modi's coming to Delhi. Okay. Within 6 months, AAP has this historic victory in Delhi after the Prime Minister shifts from Gujarat to Delhi. So there is a little bit of an ego there. And plus, Arvind Kejriwal did make his politics about attacking other individuals. Okay. So if you have a long memory, you will remember that. And but it's very damaging for AAP. And so let's say there's a respectable defeat. Let's say AAP gets 35 and can't form the government, hypothetically. Because many of the people, as has been pointed out, are from other parties. They can go in any which way. Hypothetically. But what if Arvind is also losing his seat? So I'm a professor. If that is, it's bad news. Of course, nobody ever fully dies, but let's also not forget. This is a party that came as a service delivery party. It's not a party rooted in a particular regional identity or a caste group or anything. It comes with promises. Kejriwal is a very driven, charismatic person. There's no doubt about all of that. One is, I have seen him, I have met him, so have you. I have even, as I've written a book on the BJP, 2015, publishers said, I wrote a book on the phenomena of AAP in 2015. All of this will happen, but the point is it will hit them very, very hard. because they don't have those kind of roots in one space.
Vivek Srivastava, if the BJP were to lose, not so bad for them, but if AAP loses, bigger problem for the AAP?
And it is going to reflect in Punjab also, because
What do you think will happen?
Yes, I think the Congress is going to be more resurgent. That's what I expect in Punjab, because that is going to be the alternative.
Okay.
Not the BJP. That's the first part. But one question for JVC. What Yashwant was saying was that even if men, as you said, have voted more in number, they could be belonging to the absolute down strata of the society. Traditional AAP vote bank.
Well, those numbers are there. We've given you the details on the screen. But Anand Ranganathan,
you see, what happens is that along the political timeline, a party forgets its USP at its peril. BJP has done it from time to time, but has recovered. BJP's USP is, you can love it or loathe it, Hindutva. Congress's USP is please all pseudo-secularism, or whatever you may call it. Whatever you may. Communists don't have a USP. AAP's USP was that we are against corruption. Now, when you lose that USP, you are nowhere. And that is the problem with AAP.
So it is a do or die for both sides. On one side, it's an ego battle for the BJP. On the other side, for the Aam Aadmi Party, it is an existential crisis. We don't know. 8 polls favor the BJP, 4 polls favor the Aam Aadmi Party. The Satta Bazaar sitting on the fence. Bloom or broom? What's going to happen? Well, we'll only know on the 8th of February. This is your destination. The Election News headquarters. We'll see you then. We'll bring you the results and we'll tell you what's happening in the capital of India. Delhi kiski hai? For now, thank you very much to all my guests for joining me on the Newshour tonight. Good night and be safe, beautiful.